Hi everyone, it's Brenda Rigney here with another episode of Three Uniques. I'm really excited to introduce you to Brad Clark. He's based here in Vancouver. Brad is a recruitment guru and he's the founder of Rectxt. Hey Brad, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Can you share a little bit more about yourself for everyone?
Yeah, so I've been in recruitment since the mid 2000s, and from there now I wear two hats. One is I am the North American recruitment manager for Article, and the second hat is I have a startup called Rectxt, which is a text recruiting software. So kind of juggle two things at once.
Excellent. Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing that this time of year. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And I've known you for a while. We have a sort of a joint career path, having worked at Earl's Restaurants based here in Vancouver. So that's our sort of connection point. So tonight you're going to share your three uniques with us. So how about it? What are they?
So I have a really unique, wide breadth of experience working for a wide range of organizations. I have the ability to, so I'm dyslexic. So part of that is I have the gift of dyslexia. And I also take my inspiration from a lot of different places. So those are my three things. So
Amazing. So let's go back up to the top, your experience.
yeah. So on my side, so in recruitment, I work in recruitment agencies as tech recruiter. I was a consultant since 2012, where I've worked for over a dozen different companies. Those have ranged from Samsung, which has 300,000 plus employees globally, which is insane, and Boeing, which are monsters, to newly founded startups, which are hiring their first person. So I've worked in just such an incredibly wide, diverse group, whether some are nonprofit, some are in financial, some are pure tech startups, and again, some are monster organizations. So this wide breadth has been, yeah, it's pretty unique to have that experience.
Amazing. And your second unique?
Yeah, so my second unique is I would say kind of, it's a double-edged sword, but I'd say the gift of dyslexia. And so what that does is most people see that usually as a reading or kind of learning ability. It actually allows, people to see things and see connections that other people can't. And so often where you might see things totally separate, people with dyslexia like myself will find these unique connections and find the ability to see these results and these patterns other people can't. And so it's been one of those things which, I've always just had this ability to combine different things.
Thanks for sharing that. And then your third unique?
So the third unique, and this is kind of inspired by you and the conversations we've had in the past, is really gathering inspiration for recruitment outside of recruitment. And we had a conversation years ago about marketing and and how marketing is going to impact recruitment. But I took that a little further and continued on into things like how MarTech and recruitment technology has been impacted and will look a lot like this, into taking trends and philosophies from software development, from product management, and even DevOps, and applying those totally unrelated, from the outside world into recruitment, and realizing there's a ton to learn, from these totally separate areas into actual recruitment practices.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed having those conversations with you about it. What are you seeing right now, just in the wake of COVID and obviously, the economic conditions that are going on and business shutdown, but then also new innovations that are sparking up?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You're seeing a lot of people get creative. I mean, also a lot of people have side hustles popping up, and there's also a lot of new businesses coming out as a result of this, which is exciting. And some organizations, especially in the e-commerce space, are doing amazing. So there's some organizations that are really flourishing under this. Obviously, video interviewing and just being comfortable in video is really important. That's changed a ton. But it's also open. It's really accelerated a lot of things, where I would say the future of work people talked about from 5-10 years from now is today. So a lot of organizations had to accelerate work from home, obviously, had to accelerate how they work. But the underlying part of that is the autonomy required. You have to trust your people. You have to give them autonomy and ultimately getting to like an asynchronous kind of work schedule, this is moving people towards. So it's really press a fast forward button. So there's some silver linings in all of the chaos, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, things that like employees and probably leaders and companies have been looking for a while, and now's the impetus to make, some radical changes in their organization, their culture, their strategy, their product offerings.
Yeah, so it's never a waste of good crisis. I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to.
Right. Awesome. And then what are some things that like really inspire you? Like I look behind you, you've got all these models of, spaceships and trains, I think, and a lot of transportation type vehicles, future, past, but like what really inspires you, I guess, around the work that you do every day?
Well, as far as inspires, I mean, I look at I mean, ultimately, it's when you're able to solve a business problem. I mean, that's ultimately what, everyone should be trying to strive for, no matter what they're doing. And for me, the business problem is finding humans to solve that problem, to suit a need. So that's the business side of it. Now, behind me, I mean, my kind of geeky stuff back there, to decompress and kind of zone out a little bit. I definitely enjoy building some Lego kits, where my son's below me. He's playing Lego, but he's kind of building bricks freelance. But behind me is some Star Wars Lego kits is kind of my escape and mental decompression.
Okay, awesome. Now, what have you been binging on Netflix over like the last like 4 or 5 months, like during COVID? I'm always curious about that. Netflix or Amazon Prime or?
See, I'm a total geek here. There's actually a Transformers cartoon which just got released, and I just crushed it. And I know it's definitely made more for adults and people who grew up in the 80s. But if for anyone who loved Transformers as a kid, it's pretty phenomenal. But other than that, I mean, I've actually been on YouTube more, to be honest, and and those things range from just anything curious, but the amount of video content coming out it's amazing.
Yeah.
Whatever I want to learn, someone has a video.
Right. Yeah, it's actually really amazing. Well, it's one of the impetuses for me to create this I call it vlog, in the sense of like, just getting content out there in multiple streams. But YouTube is definitely, I think, becoming, it always has been, but it's definitely becoming a big vehicle right now, helping people get through COVID, whether it's like recipes or creating things.
Yeah, anything. It's amazing. I mean, just whether it's work or personal, I mean, I find myself, you get sucked in sometimes and you just learn so much so quickly. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on this evening. I really appreciate the quick hit, learning about your 3 uniques. And for everyone that's listening, this is an opportunity. Like, use Brad as an example here. Get your content out there. Let people know what you've got to share in the world. I know a lot of people have been displaced through their organization, shutting down or downsizing. This is the opportunity to get your resume out there. Obviously, like, that's the traditional means. That's what everybody else is doing. But I want to just share with you getting your content out and what you do for a living and what you bring to the world through social media. Get it on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, like we just talked about. Getting what you know best out there. There's going to be an entrepreneur, a hiring manager, a recruiter that's going to see your content and bring your work to the organization. So, any parting words, Brad, for anyone that's in looking for things?
I mean, I think that's exactly, I mean, I've got someone tapping me on the shoulder right now, but I think just sharing, I think curating content, sharing content, and building networks. Just because you can't meet someone in real life for a coffee, it's easier now because I can meet someone for a video. And I think whether you're searching for a job or you're just building your career and building your network, you always need to be networking. It's a new reality. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring up a really good point too, before we close, is just the whole coffee thing. Because sometimes coffee would take time. People have to drive to the coffee shop, meet you, like a half an hour coffee sometimes turns into like an hour and a half block on your schedule, just getting it back and forth. So you can pop on a Zoom call for half an hour, connect with people.
Yeah, no, it's exactly it. It's much easier. People always think, oh, it's me for a coffee. I'm like, I don't have enough time for enough coffees.
Yeah, so. You've got Lego to build.
I got Lego to build. I got things to do. So
yeah. Well, I'll let you go. Thanks a lot and have a good night.
Sounds good. All right. Take care. Thank you so much.